Welcome to Whovian Wednesdays. I'm film nerd, your host, Cody House. This is one of the weekly shows I've been trying to do, and we finally were able to get a hold and get together with the guest I've been wanting to talk Doctor Who with, Hermione. Welcome.
Hello! Yay.
So obviously you're a huge Harry Potter fan, but another classic British fandom is Doctor Who. And from my understanding, you mostly just know the Jodie Whittaker stuff?
No.
Oh,
Nope.
okay.
I'm just saying that was I'm up to that point. I
Oh,
watched from 2005 until
okay.
that.
Gotcha. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
misunderstood you then. So you're a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And
Indeed.
was that your introduction? Was the relaunch of the new series?
Pretty much. I mean, it was later because I had to catch up. Because at that point it was actually, I don't know what year it was. It was 2014 maybe I started watching.
So around the Capaldi era?
That's a little before, but
Okay.
I wasn't sure because I didn't know it was still going. Anyways, but yeah, I had a lot to catch up on.
Right. Similar thing with me. I did not watch it in 2005 when it came out because I don't think I had BBC America. I think the Tenet episodes were being broadcast on Sci-Fi back in the day, but I did not know the show's rich history. In fact, I thought it was just some weird show from the 70s with a dude with a scarf. I didn't know there were like 8 or 9 other doctors, and I thought David Tennant was just like, "Oh, they just remade the show with a new guy." I didn't know it was like this expansive, very interesting way to recast a lead role for your character too. And I have a very good friend who basically hounded me to watch the show, and it was around the time Matt Smith started as the Doctor. And so it's like, "Oh, well, they're on Netflix. Let me watch them." And I was like, "Oh, there's a guy before David Tennant?" And I was like, "Oh, I've heard of Christopher Eccleston. I've seen that guy in movies and stuff." And basically, uh, I was hooked from this very episode we're going to talk about the relaunch of the series, which I think does a great job of melding old classic fans who either grew up watching the old series and for people who come in the show fresh, don't know anything about Doctor Who.
For me, it was well, let's call it the influence of somebody else. And so I was like, I want to know what they're talking about. And it's like, okay, let's see how this goes. And so I watched the first episode. I was like, what in the world? I was like, this, what are we? Okay. And actually, the thing that was said, okay, I'm gonna start watching this. It's gonna get weird, but keep watching. So it's like, okay, are you sure? Okay. So yeah, so I got in and I was like, well, this is wild. And then I was like, okay, let's see. And I was like, next one, okay, this is funny. Okay, let's see. And I'm like, okay, so this is gonna be extremely weird, but really sweet and funny and wholesome. So pretty much, I enjoyed it.
So the thing I like about the character is that anyone can be the Doctor. Like, it doesn't matter shape, size, color, skin, gender, it can be anybody, literally. I like that about the character because that means different people can get something out of the show, and also why all of us argue over who's the best doctor or who's our favorite doctor because we get attached to different ones. Though I think each actor has done something unique and interesting in the character. I just think some of them had better direction, better writers, better companions, but I think each actor is pretty interesting in the role. And I love that it's about science. Like science overall, it's not like the doctor gets in fistfights with people. The doctor's got to use their intellect, and it's great. That's what I love about it, and the message.
It's definitely because it like don't kill people. You know, that's like the last alternative. Like, okay, even from the first episode, it's like, no, we're trying not to kill him. Like, no, we'll give him a chance. So that's an kind of understated, powerful point of it. Like, we're not trying to harm the entities of, you know, the aliens and whatever scum they may be, unless they give us a reason to. Like, it's our last resort. So yeah.
So, what do you think of Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor, even though it was a very short run for him?
I mean, it was, I guess, going to start to something cool. Obviously, you can't start it. You can't know the Rose lore without watching that season. So, I mean, it's kind of important. Um, I mean, I don't have any. I don't dislike any Doctor or anything, but yeah.
Same. I think I have a little more attachment to him because he was my entryway into the series, but I think them casting an actor of his caliber at the time, like, he wasn't super famous, but he was an established actor, definitely brought some gravitas to the show, and I think, they kinda made it a 21st century look. Like, I think of all the Doctors, he has, like, the most least inconspicuous outfit. Like, almost his outfit could fit in any time he ends up popping in.
Because the leather jacket, right?
Yeah, he's just wearing a leather jacket with some pants. He's not, because in the classic show, they usually are wearing some exaggerant, huge coat and outfit.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, if I yeah, because I mean after that, I kind of like suit wise, and
I
that's what
mean,
I
I
mean.
mean, the rest of them won't have really that colorful outfits. Tennant's wearing a pinstripe suit. Matt
Yeah,
Smith's dressed like a professor.
yeah,
Capaldi, he's just got a little flair to his jacket,
yeah.
and even Jodie's isn't that flary either. There's a little shade of I think Tom Baker in her outfit a little bit.
I remember about saying something about that, but I think it's in the socks.
Yeah, and because she's got the striped shirt, I guess, because it kind of
Okay.
looks a little bit like the scarf.
Yeah, yeah, I see that.
But I think he does a perfect job of being, like, a little bit darker version of the Doctor, but also there's a lot of humor and whimsy with him, and, like, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's mean," and it's like, no, he's not really mean. It's like he gives off a dark exterior, but really, once you get to know him, he's really sweet, and as you learn through the season, his arc is like he's kinda trying to find his humanity again because of all the stuff he's experienced. Like, this is the PTSD Doctor in a lot of ways.
From okay, I forgot. We're talking about Eccleston or the right?
Eccleston, yeah,
Okay,
and then we can just get into Rose, the
okay.
first episode. But yeah.
At the okay. So I did not remember a lot of things about this episode because I only watched it once that in 2014 or so. Um, like I remember about Mickey, like he was like, oh, well, he's gone now. Like, oh, you have to go find Mickey because he got himself in trouble again. He's gotten snatched by the aliens. So I remember that, but I forgot that Rose actually dated Mickey. So it's like he was actually really important to her and such. And then ended up like, but in the episode she was like that line that was, like what am I doing or something like that, and like you've got me, and it's like, what if you got? I don't remember exact words anymore, but it was kind of like, yeah, what am I doing with you? And she just ran off to the doctor. So I was like, oh, well, there you go.
Well, I mean, that's kinda what the doctor does, and if you look at Rose, she's got a she doesn't have a very exciting job, she still lives at home with her mom. I mean, I think she's supposed to be, like, 19 or 20, so she's fairly young still. But, if you're in that situation and you just live your life, go to work, eat, like he says, "Oh, you just go to work, sleep, and eat your beans and toast," or like, and then this wild, wacky guy who fights aliens and time travels, has a spaceship. You'd be like, "Oh yeah, maybe I'll travel with this guy. He's interesting."
I just mean the way she left Mickey was like, yeah, bye, deuces.
Right? It's like, see ya. Well, I mean, it's not until like post Eccleston that they even give like Mickey anything really of substance. Like he's just kind of written as the dumb boyfriend for this whole series, and then isn't really till like the next series that they give him layers, like give him a character arc, that there's more to him. So is Rose one of your favorite companions? I know a lot of Who fans, this is like their favorite.
I don't think she's on the top 3, actually.
Yeah,
Like
me
Amy.
either.
Amy, Martha, Donna.
That's good. I love Martha. I know a lot of people don't like her, but I don't know why, because she's a doctor or she's capable, and she's like, "No, I'm gonna leave you because you're not ever gonna, you know, I sacrificed and saved your life so many times, but you don't see me for who I am." So she deuces the doctor. So like,
Yeah. It ends up with, well, I was like, that's a spoiler. But
yeah, spoiler for, what is this now? This series has ran almost 20 years now, even though they're about to start their 14th season.
yeah. It's like,
Yeah, and I'm gonna say something controversial in Who fandom. I prefer Rose with Eccleston than I do with her with Tennant because I don't like the romance angle that happens with Tennant and Rose. I I'm not a fan of that with the doctor. I just want the doctor to have people they travel with. I don't want him hooking up with his companions.
okay. Okay. That's
It's
like the definite age difference. Anyway,
right. He's a
you're like
1,000 year.
600 years old. I don't remember how old he is, but like, it's complicated and yeah. But then it's like the doctor's daughter in that episode, and I was like, I was so confused. Anyways,
Yeah, it gets timey-wimey and confusing with that sort of thing. So I just prefer the friendship, and I think this first season overall, Rose gives the doctor his humanity back. Like gives him a purpose again. Like he can trust someone.
the very uh thing at the beginning was that it's like, yeah, go be silly humans and stuff. So yeah, that I can concur with that.
Yeah. So have you ever seen any classic Who?
I have. I remember because I think before it got taken off Netflix, there was their older ones on, and now there's some on Pluto. I was like, it's a planet name, yeah, and on Amazon as well for older ones. But I remember I think I would watch the first Doctor because there was a set in black and white that I did watch. So I feel like that was the first or second. It was a very old looking man.
Probably the first Doctor then.
Okay. So that was interesting, and like I thought that the outfits and the like them trying to be space alien, and you can see like it just looks really bad.
Mm.
But I mean that not much
There's
money to produce. So it's like it's just funny and everything, and technology of the time. So I mean that's a player there. With I did watch the guy with the hat and the long scarf. Was that
Tom
Eighth
Baker
Doctor? Okay.
is the fourth Doctor.
Fourth? Okay. Yeah, I remember numbers before nine. So,
There's been so many.
uh, yeah, that was also interesting. There was definitely spaceship episodes and other ones that were on Earth or something like Earth. But I mean, yeah, like seeing from where they started. I mean, these ones are definitely much better. Uh, and they were kind of in three or four parts. It was like, oh, this is
Hmm.
the episode, and then this is the next part. The next part. I was like, I guess they didn't have time frame to do that or whatever. But yeah, I mean, interesting. Just knowing where you started from to where it is now. It's kind of cool. Really cool, considering it's over what six
Yeah, it's about to
how many years old?
celebrate its 60th anniversary next year. But yeah, the first Doctor especially is very interesting and different because the show is and the Doctor is almost portrayed differently than what people would think of the Doctor if they were introduced to the Doctor later or even with the new series. And it's kind of with the second Doctor that the Doctor starts becoming the character that we know them to be, which I know like every actor, it's a different personality, it's a different style, but like basically what we know the Doctor as kind of started with the second Doctor because the first run was supposed to be more of like an educational series and they wanted the companions to be more of the heroes and like the Doctor just be like a grandfatherly figure. But you talking about, like, the costumes and the people in the suits being aliens, like, I forget the name of the story, but there's literally one story from the first Doctor where, like, whatever the creature it is, the person in the suit, like, hit the door frame or something trying to walk through it. But I think the reason why they're, like, so short is because it was, like, a Saturday evening show for the family to sit down and watch, and it was serialized television, so I was like, "Okay, part 1 is, like, 25 minutes. Tune in next week. What happened?"
That makes sense. Okay. Oh, yeah. I was just looking up the photos of. Yeah, yeah, it definitely was the first Doctor. I was like, oh, this is. It's like. I can see that now. I can understand the frame of being there.
And that's also, I guess, why some people were freaked out when Capaldi was cast because 'cause they're like, "Why is an old man being a doctor?" And classic fans are like, "The Doctor's been an old dude before." It's like, "Not a big deal, guys. It's okay." So what are your overall thoughts on this first episode? Or because you mentioned you had some notes.
Well, I only mentioned one of them. Like it was not just like just thoughts. The first word the doctor said to Rose was "run," and like take my hand, run. Okay, well that's definitely something that sticks with you for a while. Because like, I mean, the first meeting, and you saved my life because whatever they were called, the plastics, starting to like that's weird, but yeah. Definitely a marked impression. And I mean, if I was in that position, I'd be like, yeah, yeah. What? Who are you, and why? What's actually you're an alien? And then there's the line, uh, if you are an alien, how come you sound like coming north? Lots of planets have a north.
I love that.
That was a ringtone for like a text tone or something for a while. I put so I was like, oh, I remember where that episode or the line came from, which episode. But yeah, and that yeah, I was like, they had to explain his accent in some way. I thought that was funny. Getting, it's like setting up how Mars's mother is for the rest of the series. Like, yeah, that it just plays out so well. And I was like, okay, I see this now. Oh, I forgot that she did this. And yeah, very entertaining, but like still, what the heck is happening kind of thing, which uh, kept me intrigued. I was like, okay, I'll give this another shot as continue watching. And the the like different levels of like I'm gonna be out. Oh no, like I related to the miscommunication of mother daughter. Um, of like, okay, yeah, you should be here. Like, don't go out. Oh no, I'm gonna go. I'm out shopping at this place, the wrong place at the wrong time. And you're like, and then like the worst part. So I guess it's like TV movie, whatever thing that happens where oh, there's danger. I'm gonna run into it, not back up the escalator or the one next to it. Like I'm gonna go straight into the the fire. It just that whatever. It's for TV. But don't think like that, people. Just if something's coming at you, like you're seeing danger, don't go into it. Go the opposite direction. Use some sense. Okay, done.
Yeah, I think Jackie's a great character. I believe that actor is a comedic actor mostly, which makes sense. And I think that's something new Who did that I don't remember any classic Who. Like we never get to see like the companions' lives outside of the Doctor before and seeing their families, which they kept that up with I believe with Rory in the Matt Smith era and Donna because she has her mom and grandpa.
Um, the one with oh my gosh, I haven't seen in so long. I don't remember her name. But brown hair with the 12th Doctor, like
Clara?
there we go. That's her name. Because she
Yeah.
had that whole an apartment thing, and yeah.
Yeah, so I think they did a good job overall with Rose and future companions of kind of making them more relatable to the viewer and getting attached to them as much as you get attached to the Doctor. And I not 100% sure, but I think these plastic aliens, if they're not the same villain from, like, the Pertwee era, they're, like, uh, influence or a reference. They're called, like, the Autons or something, where they're, like, take over the bodies of, like, plastic mannequins and stuff. So I think even in episode 1, they're, like, making references for fans. But at the same time being like, "Here's this new show about this alien who time travels."
That's cool. I didn't know that part, but yeah.
And I think they did a great job because if you were new to the show, you didn't know what regeneration was till, the end of the series, but it seems like watching it after you know the show lore, it seems like he hasn't been in that body that long.
Yeah, I did notice that of like he was walking into when he got into Rose's apartment, I believe, and it was like something about his ears and something here. It's like, oh, but then like in the oh my gosh, okay, I just remembered. So with the guy who Rose like found on the internet of like, oh, the doctor when she researched the doctor, and I didn't know this because I hadn't seen this yet. But there's a show that guy, the conspirator, however you want to call him, uh, conspiratorialist. Is that a word? I don't know.
I know what you mean. Like he's like one of those guys, and but he has a family, but he's like those
Right.
conspiracy theorists in a basement. Like there's all these theories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found that actor is in another show called Shakespeare and Hathaway. So yeah, what I
Oh,
watched like this year, but it's on BritBox. It's just another British show. I was like, oh, it's awesome. But now I know. Anyway, he was really cool, and but except knowing that uh the pictures that he found or like in research and like this is the picture, but I mean it's because he can travel through the time, which also kind of sets you up of like yes he's old, and so he was totally right, like he's immortal, but it was like thinking something about because there was, you can't be an exact replica of your parent because, like, oh, that should be the grandfather. No, no, but he looked exactly the same. And so that's because that's also hinting to the viewers of like, he's not, you know, well, he's traveled through time, which is really cool, without actually fully saying it until like, later. But yeah, it creates a little more mystery, at the same time explains it when you're looking back at it. So that's a neat aspect, or have a writing that turned out well. Actually, that happens a lot. I remember now, but it
Yeah,
was
it
cool.
was nice little breadcrumbs because people who knew the show knew what was going on, but people who didn't were like, "Oh, that's interesting." Because, like, yeah, like you said, I think he said, like, "This title must be passed on from father to son." Because, like, I think it's like he was at the Titanic and he was at the Kennedy assassination, and I forget, I think there was another big historical event they, like, said he popped up at or something, but
It
I
was
just for
like before something blew up.
was
That's
it Was it like the Zeppelin or something? I forget.
yeah, that might be it. Yeah, it's like
Which
something
is
exploded.
interesting because there's also audio adventures now with the Doctor.
Yeah,
Well, they've been doing it for like 20 something years, but there's one with Paul McGann, the Eighth Doctor, and it's on that Zeppelin. So that's interesting. Kind of where the
cool.
sometimes
Yeah.
those parallels cross, which they did that again recently with Jodie Whittaker, because there's a Jodie Whittaker episode where they visit Lord Byron and Mary Shelley,
Wow,
and I believe Mary Shelley was a companion of the Eighth Doctor on the audio stories for a brief time.
that's fun.
Yeah, those
Uh,
are worth checking out. I just don't have a, you know, inexpensible income to buy all those and listen to them.
so yeah, okay. I've been listening to Doctor Who audio since 2018 or so. I think I stumbled upon it on Audible. It was an Amazon. I don't remember if that's why I started Audible. No, I don't know. Anyways, it's in that 2017 and 2018, maybe 2016 earliest. But yeah, I was like, wait, what? And then it has the actors doing that. I was like, oh, so I did get a few in there, and then I actually have the physical books, a couple of them. When I got to visit England in 2019 before the plague.
Yeah.
The I went into an old bookshop and I was like, oh, there's physical Doctor Who books. And I was just like, oh, I was kidding. And I was like, I can only pick a couple because I have to take this back in my suitcase. So I decided to pick two. And I actually saw one of them in physical form that I listened to from Audible. So that was also fun. But yeah. And I'm currently reading an old paperback of it's from 88, and I was like, "This is older than me." Um, but yeah, it's weird and trying to place of, like it's it just I'm confused by it of, like, how the pacing is, but, like, explaining, but then it goes back and then it comes forward, and I was like, "I don't know where I am right now." But, yeah, which companion are we talking about? And the doctor being somebody's grandfather, and I was like, "Is that actually possible?" I don't understand, but yeah, we're going through that.
That's just the nature of the show and the series. It's constantly changing or retconning, but that's the nature of a lot of things, and especially with ones that deal with time travel. I mean, that's how it is. But I agree with you that I think this is a perfect entry point for someone that wants to get into Doctor Who because it relaunches the show in a great way, gives it a 21st century facelift, and this is a good episode for anyone who doesn't know a darn thing about Doctor Who. Like, because it's a little bit harder to go back and watch the classics, and I think for a modern audience, you probably need to, like, get invested in the new show first, so then you can go back and enjoy the older series because you're already like, I like the Doctor. Because I find the old series charming, but I can understand if people don't like it because, yeah, there's like no production value. It looks like they're shooting in a garage somewhere.
And the confusion of like, wait, who's this person and why are you like, yeah, it was kind of like what's happening right now? And not in the cool of like, oh, what's happening? Like, well, I have no idea what's going on and why. So yeah,
I
agree.
actually got to meet Christopher Eccleston last year at Fan Expo.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool Q&A. He was nice. He said because apparently he wanted to be a football player before he became an actor, and they said, "Well, Matt Smith also plays football." He's like, "Yeah, he's a better football player than me, but I'm still a better doctor than him."
And it's clever. Okay, sure. I mean, it's all subjective anyways, but I know.
Right? It's just your particular preference, I think.
Mhm.
I'm glad he's come back to the character even if it's only gonna be in audio form, but that's nice because for a long time, he didn't have anything to do with Doctor Who because apparently he didn't enjoy himself making the show.
Yeah.
Which I think he will not show up in the 60th anniversary since Russell T Davies is back as the showrunner. But, yeah, we got a new Doctor coming sometime next year. Jodie's final episode, I think, is sometime this month or next month.
Okay. Mm.
Yeah. I still haven't seen the Sea Devil special she did. I saw the Christmas New Year's special with the dialect they're like stuck in a time loop in a building.
Oh. Hmm.
It was kind of
I haven't
fun.
seen it.
Okay. Yeah, because she did that special, and then they did a special around Easter time, and then, yeah, she's doing her final one sometime soon. And then I don't know if the 60th is coming out first or they're gonna start the new series with the new Doctor first,
Hmm.
but we'll see.
Well, I'm curious as to. I mean, I've seen a couple things, like in my feed slash gets suggested to me about Doctor Who, and that lady would be Donna, Catherine Tate, and yeah, Tennant. But yeah, I don't. I'm okay with knowing, but I'm also okay with being surprised. Thinking I don't know at what point I actually get to watch it because yeah, I don't have BBC America, so it's all whenever my satellite thing gives the free previews for a while is when I
Right.
see it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, because I don't know when it'll drop. I know, like, there's a streaming service, AMC Plus, you can get that will show BBC America stuff,
no,
but I'm like, "How many more streaming services do I need? I already have too many as it is because
same.
that's
Yeah.
where everything's on." And I know HBO Max right now has the new Who stuff,
Oh. Oh, okay.
and so I don't know when they'll, put when it goes to the streaming service after it airs. But yeah, as far as the 60th, all we know is that Tennant and Tate are back, which most people are excited because that's a lot of people's favorite companion with David Tennant was Donna.
Dr. Donna as
That's my
one.
wife's favorite. She's like, there needs to be more Dr. Donna. I'm like,
That was so epic. Oh my gosh.
and the actor who played her grandpa filmed, I guess, his stuff before he
Oh.
passed recently.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we don't know anything else if it like the new Doctor's gonna be in it, or it's just strictly like a 10th Doctor story, or it's gonna be a multiple. But I'm like you, I'm happy to have surprises in there. I don't want to know everything about the 60th anniversary. I mean, I would kill if I would just be so happy if Paul McGann showed up in some form again as the Doctor, because the man still looks great to be over 60, and I'm glad he got to do that little special they did for the 50th to, like, give him a regeneration story. So that would be cool. But, yeah, I'm always excited for where Doctor Who is going, and I love the show. It might be my favorite fictional character.
I can see that, like, because it's so magical of like, and I've seen like so many memes of like, yes, the Doctor showed up and be like, hey, like, yes, let's go. But yeah, I can see that. I mean,
So
it's a weird. I don't like figure him as a fictional character. Maybe 'cause it's not in a book, but it is in a book. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
no, that makes sense 'cause, it's a television character, not a literary character, so I get what you're saying. So because you love Harry Potter so much, there is a YouTuber, they do a lot of Doctor Who and other fandoms. They don't do so much Harry Potter stuff anymore because of J.K. Rowling, but they did a video of, like, what Hogwarts house each Doctor would be in. Guess what house they put Eccleston in? You probably might be surprised.
is it Slytherin?
It was not Slytherin.
Okay,
It was Hufflepuff.
okay, that was my second guess,
And then their
actually.
defense of the Ninth Doctor being a Hufflepuff was they're like, "Well, his dark exterior is really a front. He's not really like this. He's really
Okay,
he's really, like, nice and silly and wants to like things,
yeah, okay, I can see that.
but he only shows that to the people he trusts." So they're like, "He's a Hufflepuff."
That's fair. I like that. He could tell, yeah. So I'm saying I was like, I can see it, Hufflepuff, and I was like, let's go crazy and think Slytherin. It's fine.
Yeah. The doctors that would be in your house, they put the first Doctor, the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, and Peter Capaldi
Okay, I can see that. Yeah,
as the
I mean,
Ravenclaws.
Capaldi. Yeah,
Well, I don't really have much else to say. I know we didn't talk a whole lot, but it's just one episode. So also I just kind of wanted to get your kind of engagement of Doctor Who fandom and like where you are with it.
I love.
So what do you want to do when we get back, whether it's next week or a couple of weeks from now? Do you want to keep with series 1 or you want to kind of jump all over the place?
Maybe 2 episodes
We could do 2 episodes. Yeah, that's fine.
because I already kind of started. I mean, I okay. So I have. I don't. I think it was last year. Yeah, I guess last year I found a box set at Barnes and Noble for the discounted. So it has like the okay, yeah, so 2005 until like I think 4 or 5 seasons. It's like what? Anyways, I had misplaced it for a while, and so I ended up buying the Amazon first season, and I was like, wait a minute, where is this thing? And so I found it, but I already bought it, and it was like, I don't know. I think it's too late to return it. That's fine. I'll just have it both.
So you
Anyway,
have 2 copies, but basically it sounds like you have the whole Russell T Davies era of Doctor
yeah,
Who, at least. So you have series 1 through 4.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, we could do because it's like End of the World, and I forget what episode 3 is. I don't remember episode 3 off the
Okay,
top of
yeah.
my
The only
head.
is it New York, maybe? New York. I know it's
I
early, but I
think
don't remember.
I think that's in the Tenet run.
Okay.
Those
Oh,
cat
yes, the
people
cats.
freak
Yes,
me
the
out.
cats. Okay, that was so Tenet.
Um, because I don't think it's the two-parter with the farting aliens yet.
Oh, the
The Slovene?
Slovene,
Yeah.
the farting alien.
They kinda look like something from a early Peter Jackson movie to me.
I don't know that name, but
Mhm.
okay.
The guy who did Lord of the Rings, he started
Okay.
out doing, like, cheesy horror movies,
Oh.
and he did one called Bad Taste where the aliens basically come to Earth to, use humans as food for their fast food chain,
Wow.
and they look similar to the Slovene in a little bit
Okay.
to me.
Uh,
'Cause, yeah, the production value's much better in the new show, but I think, like, the first few series, they still look like if you go back and watch the Eccleston and Tennant stuff,
mhm.
it's it's kind of cheesy compared to what their production was with the Matt Smith era. Oh, episode 3's the Charles Dickens episode. Okay, that's cool. It's a little spooky.
Charles Dickens.
Yeah, it's, like, around Christmas time, and it's the
Oh,
gas
that
well,
that word is familiar. I didn't know.
yeah, The Unquiet Dead. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, we could do those 2 because then it's the two-parter.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Oh, 1869 Cardiff. I see. Okay, as I'm reading. That is wait, is that the same lady that
That's, is it Gwen? Is that her name from Torchwood? Yeah,
Yes! Oh, it is! It's
yeah.
the 'cause yeah, 'cause people in Doctor Who show up in Doctor Who again. Right, okay, yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's
Yeah.
it's like
I love that about the show because Karen Gillan and Peter Capaldi were both in the fires of
yeah,
Pompeii, and I even think, the actor that plays Martha showed up in
mhm,
Doctor Who before she became Martha, and
yeah.
yeah,
It's like, I just and
and
it's
that
'cause it feels like it was meant to do that. Like, that's the whole, like,
and
amazing
they
part.
did that in the classic shows sometimes too, like, Colin Baker was in a Peter Davison episode before he became the Doctor, so
Oh, that's amazing! Okay, yeah.
So it's kinda cool when that little crossover and then it's like, "Well, did the doctor pick that face on purpose? Because
Right, right.
he saw that face before." Uh,
Yeah.
well, I'm glad we finally got to chat, and I'm glad we got to see, like, where both we are with Whodom. Um, seems like
Yeah.
we both are on a little bit on the same level. You might have some more of the books and audios than me, but that's okay. We all get to what we can and,
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of the show and the characters. Is there anything you wanna plug before we go? I know you have a Twitch.
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing I don't know when the show comes out exactly, like, live, but, the this Friday, which is the not no, what day is it? 7th? 7th.
Mhm.
Yeah, Friday the 7th, I'm doing a charity stream for Starlight Children, and for around 4 PM Central, I'm gonna start, and if we get up to $200 raised during stream, I will put on a onesie, which I don't normally like doing, but I was like, I'll only do it for raising money, cause yeah.
So a pajama onesie, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's an animal.
Oh, cool. Yeah, those can be fun. I don't have any of my own, but,
I was like, yeah, because back with Chase doing the thing, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll do something I don't normally like. Because like they're just you have to. Yeah, I'm looking into that. Like the physical undoing of having to bathroom, anyways. But it's fine. I'll do it for
Well,
charity.
yeah. Charity's important and sounds like a great thing. I guess this is the same thing you guys have done for a few years, right? Because I
Hmm.
remember Chase talking about this before.
Right. It's just this one's different. It's a different charity, but it's
Oh,
essentially
okay.
for the same type of thing.
Well, that's always a great cause. Well, again, thank you. I'm glad we finally got
Yes.
our channels to finally work and talk. And I look forward to talking more Doctor Who with you, or
Yay.
anything else that comes up while we're talking, because happens sometimes in the
Yeah.
nature of a conversation. But yeah,
Thank you for inviting me.
absolutely. Yes, thank you so much, and I appreciate it. Hey, you have a great rest of your day, and if you have to work like me, I'm sorry, but, gotta pay those bills.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye.
Bye. Stay fantastic.
Fantastic.